Hello there and welcome back for another cast by me RJB here on RJB's Starcraft Casts YouTube channel. And I was busy setting up, but then it turned out that they had already started the match, and well, I started recording a little bit after the match started, but that's beside the point now because now we're in the match. And I wanted to showcase one of the good old Starcraft World 2 vs 2 ladder action. And this time around we've got a team of sadistic Andrea teamed up with silent.searcher, also known as Cole or Kokanee, who used to be the top dog in 1 vs 1 in the Starcraft World 1 vs 1 ladder for many years until a couple of Koreans showed up and dethroned him. But he's still one of the top dogs for 1 vs 1, and 2 vs 2 he's actually also pretty good. So Live.Sword here's on the Zerg, and then we've got his partner Fluffpounder here on the blue Protoss right next to him, and there's a very early scout there for silent.searcher. He starts off with a very early gas, because he's on a 3 gateway build, whereas Andrea is going for 2 gateways and a Nexus. A little bit of an odd order there, but I think they can afford it because, as you can see, Fluffpounder is blocking off this portion of the map. He's blocking off the entrances to their bases because he wants to buy time for the Zerg and for the Protoss, because the Zerg and the Protoss against the Protoss have a disadvantage when it comes to fighting capability and scaling capability. Basically, if the Zerg wants to fight the Protoss and the Protoss, they have to invest pretty much everything and all in, basically. And if that doesn't work, they're economically so far behind that if you want to reach the mid game or the late game as a Zerg, this is your best option. You go for a safe play, you secure middle or map control to a certain degree. Here they secure control over their entrances so that the opponent cannot block or wall them off. But the downside is that because you are forced to cannon this middle section of the map, you are behind on gas and behind on economy as the Protoss. And even as the Zerg, I would dare say, because the Zerg had to invest in those 6 Zerglings, that did slow him down, of course. But nonetheless, well, I want to give a small little detail. There's no production tab, and there's no, I can't see what's inside the gateways, because this is a live game. I'm actually casting a live game of Live.Sword, Fluffpounder, Searcher, and Andrea. Alright, you managed to get a couple of, how many did he get? Alright, there's one. You got one, it seems. You got 1 probe. That's, well, it's something. It means the Zerglings did achieve something. Fluffpounder is extending his choke, or his defensive wall, into an offensive block here. Well, that's a smart move from him. silent.searcher, I'm not sure if he should have allowed it to happen, but he's got his robotic facility already on the way. And Fluffpounder does not yet have any defenses against drops, whereas Live.Sword also does not have gas on the way yet. His multitasking is not being super solid this time around, but his hydralisks are slowed down. But on the upside though, he does have 6 hatcheries, of which 3 are still on the way. Gas starting now at the 4-minute mark on about 20 supply. So he is progressing, but a bit slowly. But he is progressing towards that point where he can start making hydralisks as drop defense. Whereas Fluffpounder is still a little behind in terms of drop defense, because that robo has already finished and the support bay is also already finished. There's got another robo there already finished as well. He's also starting a choke here, because in this scenario that he cannot deal significant economic damage to his opponents, he wants to have his entrance walled off so that the Zerg or the Protoss cannot walk in all that easily. Andrea managed to walk a couple of Zealots past his, well, incomplete wall basically, because it's basically just a wall here of 4 cannons, which is rather insignificant, but he managed to sneak past. And mostly just getting information and maybe slowing the Zerg down a little bit. The Zerg now on 3 gazers, but only mining from 2, maybe 2.5. I don't think that's 6 drones that I'm seeing right there. Anyway, units have been flown over by Searcher with the shuttles. He's setting up for the Reavers, and he's just going in there to try and abuse stop cannons, or maybe even force Fluffpounder to pull his probes off his minerals, try and fight back to secure those cannons. The cannons will get secured, but it's going to cost him a lot of probes Oh no, he pulls back a little bit too early, which means that the cannons will go down regardless, which means that this Reaver here is going to fly in and very easily basically just kill all those probes that he's got there, because he's got 5 Zealots there to protect 2 Reavers. Oh, it's only a single Reaver, it's 2 Zealots in there. There, yeah, he's dead. It's a very, very accurate assertion. Very accurate assertion. He is pretty much dead, because the moment he starts trying to mine, Searcher can just unload, get a shot off on the probes, and there he goes. Probes go down, another Scarab is on the way. 20 kills there, no probes left, 180 minerals. He is pretty dead. And indeed, he was way too greedy with those 2 Nexi. That's a very, very quick and easy win for Searcher and Andrea. Andrea didn't even have to do much. It was mostly just Fluffpounder being a little bit too greedy with the setup there. And it pretty much instantly backfired. And this is kind of how most 2 vs 2 games go. Not much happened. I mean, they're not very long. Most of the times they're rather short. Sometimes, if they do go long, they do turn out to be really, really long matches. But this one was rather short. Having a small description about the map. And I just want to see if there's going to be a follow-up game, so I can join that one as well and cast that one as well. Or if we're, well, if this is it. I'm going to be eating a nice little rice. Alright, they're going in for the rematch. I'm going to join that one as well. And I'm in. And I'm now observing. I'm now eating my rice cracker. Waar je zo gelukkig met gasten gewoon grappig wordt. As you might have noticed, this is a bit of a more casual cast. Alright, so they're going in. And do note that for the sake of some sort of balance, they're picking Protoss random. This time, Jorn has replaced Andrea. Jorn is a pretty good 1 vs 1 and 2 vs 2 player, also known as Rain VCK. Alright, so one of them is grabbing a drink. I'm just going to try to fill up the time here. Yeah, so what you just saw was a defensive wall strategy that honestly you don't see that often. So my honest opinion, it's too cost intensive for the Protoss. And the Zerg has to scale up really, really quick. And as you saw in that game specifically, Andrea went for a +1 Nexus very early on, which gives a huge economic boost. And because the Protoss has to invest so heavily into all those cannons and infrastructure there on the middle of the map, you could see that Searcher just went for a very early double gas and then went for 2 robotics and just flew shuttles in, to which Fluffpounder was not yet able to produce an answer. Partially because he went for the +2 Nexi instead of just +1 Nexi. Well, Nexi is already plural. Yeah, he's pretty much just got the wall run over with a very simple, small amount of Zealots by Kokanee or Searcher and a Reaver. And it pretty much all backfired really hard because he was honestly just trying to be way too greedy. Anyway, this time around, I think the matchup is going to be a little bit more interesting, although this location for Live.Sword is a really, really bad one. Minerals close here to the edge, and right above him is his opponent, Jorn. Searcher is below him. Fluffpounder is right next to Jorn. So it does look like this game will mostly be centered on the left side of the map. Fluffpounder and Live.Sword are pretty close to each other. He's going for a 3-gate tech. 3-gate tech might work, because on a 3-gate and a 4-gate double Protoss, you do have a lot of leverage in the early game. The Terran, of course, is going for 3 barracks, then going for some gas and academy, most likely. Some players like to go for 4 barracks. Not sure if Live.Sword is one of those players, but he wants to have medics and fire bats out really early. What Searcher and Jorn are going to try to do is they're going to try to wall off and block Live.Sword's entrance, because Marines and fire bats are not that great against cannons, so they're going to try to make a cannon wall here after they secure the middle, which double Protoss can more easily do than the Protoss Terran, simply because Zealots are a little bit stronger in the early game than Marines are. Marines need the stim upgrade, Marines need the medics, they even need the fire bats. So they're gonna try to wall them off before that. But given that Searcher, I mean, that's what they usually would do. But Searcher said that he's going for 3 gateway tech. So I'm not too sure whether he will have that much leverage over Live.Sword and Fluffpounder with the 3 gateway build and the distance towards the point of confrontation. So it's mostly going to be up to Jorn and how Jorn is going to handle that fight against mostly Fluffpounder. Whereas Searcher will most likely be up against Live.Sword's Marines. There is the gas. 3 barracks it seems. Academy coming out soon as well. It's going to be an academy. That's the academy. This one's going to make a depot. So 4 gateways. Zealots are now out. He didn't rally his zealots to the middle of the map, whereas Fluffpounder did rally his zealots up here to the choke. Same story for Searcher. Probably rallied them up there. So we win micro. So alright, they scouted the simulator. So they are assuming that they're gonna win the micro fight here on the middle to assert mid control. Both players moving in. On the Fluffpounder is not moving in. He is moving in. I was not sure because he was delaying himself by quite a bit. But what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna move their zealots in and they're gonna try to snipe those probes. But this is what a lot of good players will do. They make a pylon there and place 2 zealots here to wall off access to those probes to protect their probes. But that does mean that those zealots can start hunting for other things to attack. In this case, he's going for the pylons. Here the zealot, they got nothing. Walled off his zealots pretty well. 2 pylons there. Still walk there through this little portion here, but he has to walk around in order to get damage on those probes. So Zealots of Searcher now entering the middle of the map. They're going to meet those Marines, and if he micros those Zealots well enough, he can get a surround on those Marines. A slight bit of lag, which is in advantage of the Protosses, because it's harder to micro your Marines against Protoss, especially against Zealots, if there is some lag. Firebats are now on the way, Stim Brigade is on the way as well. And Fluffpounder is getting in behind on Searcher. Searcher is going for a very early robo. And a very early Seal of Dune. There's a Forge there as well. No Forge up yet for Jorn. Still that Zealot there on the top side, but it's got almost no HP. So it looks like Live.Sword won the mid fight with some help of Fluffpounder, because he went for those Firebats and because Searcher went for those 3 gateways, which means that very slowly but surely Fluffpounder and Live.Sword will outmass and have a bigger unit, an army. But it does look like something interesting is going to happen here, because I think they're going to just walk right in and try to deal some damage to the next side, or maybe catch those units from behind. Catching those units from behind is dealing a little damage on them. Live.Sword units are a little bit mislocated there on the map. He was expecting more units from Searcher, but Searcher is just cannoning up, not making any more Zealots. He's instead going for an Expo here for 2 Dark Templars, because he's got that Templars Archive on the way. There's Engineering Bay there for Live.Sword, so he might have a turret out in time. There's a +1 Command Center, but they're getting a pretty good surround here on Fluffpounder. Firebats coming into the mix, but the Firebats might actually hurt those probes. Oh, he almost killed his own allies' probes. So that's really, really, really fortunate. They didn't end up killing his partner's probes, but they do secure Fluffpounder's life. Jorn and Searcher tried to get in there, didn't really do all that much damage. The block here on Fluffpounder, the block here on Searcher has successfully been put up. Dark Templars are, I assume, now on the way, because he finished up the Templars Archive. He's gonna take a nice bite out of my rice cracker. Delicious. Alright. Jorn is trying to get up his cannon so he can defend himself against the frontal attack here from Live.Sword and Fluffpounder. He put those 2 constructions there in the front just to make sure and buy time for his cannons in the back. Zealot, of course, also there walling off axis. But that's a lot of units coming in there from Live.Sword and Fluffpounder. Cannons are there. That's a lot of Marines and Zealots there. He has to stim and he's got no medic. He has to take down those cannons very, very quickly. But if he had medics, it would be way easier. But eventually, it does look like they can take down all those cannons before losing their entire mass. Oh, he's attacking He's attacking the pylon, not that smart. So because he was attacking the pylon, they ended up losing that fight there regardless. He messed up completely, but now Dark Temples are inside of the base of Live.Sword. And there's no turrets there yet. He's trying to hunt down the turrets very, very quickly, but I think he might not be able to catch all of them. There's also pretty much no units there for Live.Sword, but Live.Sword is, I'm not sure if it's intentional, but unintentionally blocking access to all those turrets. They're on the backside. He's now taking care of the scan there as well. He killed the probe there as well. The turret there didn't come up. And start taking down that backside there. You can now go for this turret there on the side. Maybe kill some of those depots. And even maybe force those factories to be lifted up. Marines are still spawning though, but there's no Marines there in the bunker. The Marines are trying to get in the bunker, but only one of them got in there. But nonetheless, one in there is good for Live.Sword because it means he isn't dead yet. More Dark Temples are on the way here. Looks like Fluffpounder and Live.Sword chew off more, bit of more than they can chew with its failed frontal attack there. He did end up taking down the cannon, but pretty much nothing was gained other than just losing their masses. So now factories are being forced to be lifted up. He managed to secure his minerals though, so that's great for Live.Sword. He's been slowed down tremendously and is losing a lot of buildings all around his base. Lost 2 depots there, 2 depots there, a turret there, a scan there as well. Forced to lift up both of his factories, which are about to burn down, and I'm not sure if he's going to repair them. But it's going to take a minute or so for them to burn down. He's got to be quick on that one. Managed to kill the turret there as well. Now going for the depots. He's got some Marines there in the mix, but the Marines cannot. The Templar is exactly outside of detection range. Goes in now, uses the scan. Fight happening here as well in the middle of the map, but it's kind of going even, although Jorn does have the bigger mass right here, but more units are going to be coming on the way for Fluffpounder. Fluffpounder is going for drop tag. Or is he going for an observer? Nonetheless, he needs an observer if he wants to fight against those Dark Templars that Searcher has steadily been producing for this portion of the map so far. Once again, taking down the machine shop. One of the factories went down to burn damage, and this factory is going to go down as well. Live.Sword is really taking a beating here that I'm sure he didn't sign up for. So the probe that he used to build this expo there, he's now making cannons here in front of Live.Sword's base. Live.Sword, having no factories, is incapable of pushing out. He's going to be locked in there for a while. So he's got the observatory, he's going to make observers, he's got Zealot lags on the way, I'm sure. Tempest Archive there, Robotic Facility also on the way. He wants to go for drops, but I don't think going for drops is the best option he's got right here. Purely because they're knocking at his front door, and they can take down this block here as well anytime they want. Now all we're gonna need to see is Singularity Charge for Jorn and a lot of Dragoons. He doesn't even have to go drops, he just has to go for Dragoons so he can push in Fluffpounder. So Reaver being dumped there on the side, making a cannon there to try and at least kill it, but Searcher is just going to take care of these cannons there, fly in and go for the probes, and there's pretty much no cannons here on the backside, although if he doesn't hurry up, those cannons there on the backside might finish up. There's a cannon there that might deny him access, but I'm not sure if he has a Zealot in there that he can use to distract. Though it does look like Jorn is going to try to be the distraction here. He's going to fly in on top of those Zealots. Zealots are going to go in from the front, distract the cannons, and that will allow the Reaver to go in and kill the probes. But it doesn't look like Jorn is really focused on that all too much. Searcher though doing a great job there. Drop might be coming in for Live.Sword soon as well, because he's got 2 shuttles there finished up, couple of Templars as well, Zealots there in the mix as well, so he can fly over those Zealots and Templars into Live.Sword's base. Live.Sword might respond in time to type of shuttles, I'm not too sure, but it's going to be a very close game here. Alright, now the drop tag is also on the way for Jorn. Jorn is mostly focusing on making a big ass mass. He's got Dragoons there in the mix now as well, more Dragoons are on the way. He's got upgrades on the way as well. What are his upgrades actually? He's on 000. Well, I think all players are actually on 000 at the moment. Maybe Live.Sword has got... No, Live.Sword also has no upgrades yet. His gas is quite low because he's throwing on so many factories. Block still there, preventing him from going in, but it looks like Jorn is flipping the tables around and going against expectations. I want to see what he scanned. You scan this portion there. Drop is coming in for... Storm drop is coming in on Searcher, but Searcher dodges the drop mostly. Where's the... Oh, the Templar already died before he could click on it. He managed to pretty much kill all of his probes there, so that's a really, really good hit. But Jorn has been left untouched, so if Jorn... Yeah, he's only on 2 Nexi, so that's a really, really big hit, and Live.Sword is going to be capable of pushing out very, very soon, so he has to start hitting this drop on Fluffpounder's minerals. Otherwise, Fluffpounder and Live.Sword can start taking over the middle of the map. That Searcher and Jorn fought so hard for, and that's a huge storm drop. I thought he lost about 20 or 30 probes there, so that's a huge hit. That should, to a certain degree, push Fluffpounder back a little bit. Drop coming in for... He got hit as well. I didn't see it, but he got hit as well. I was a little bit too late, but he got hit as well. Nonetheless, though, Fluffpounder believes he is very close to being dead, and there's no starport yet to fly over tanks into Fluffpounder's base to help him defend. So that's a huge mass that Jorn has here. He's now sending straight in, but Jorn on the upside, though, doesn't have any income because he just lost all of his probes and he only has 2 Nexus in total to recover with. There's an observer there against the Dark Templars. He got some canister and a mix as well, but Live.Sword honestly has to start pushing out because he has to start helping his ally. The tanks there on the latch are a great addition to try and wall off Jorn, but Jorn is doing a very good job pushing in here. And those couple of zealots from Searcher are also taking a lot of focus away from the Dragoons, so cannons there behind the gateways are definitely going to go down, which means that those Dragoons can easily take the Nexus and clear out the base of Fluffpounder, which means that pretty much only Live.Sword is left here on the map. Yeah, it looks like he calls it GG. Close game, because Fluffpounder hit some really good storm drops, but that storm that hit Fluffpounder screwed him over so hard that there was no coming back for him. And Live.Sword was being a little bit too passive, trying to go too hard on too many factories too early, whereas I think he should have pushed out and tried to regain map control so he could help his ally instead of focusing on becoming big and bigger and bigger, purely because his ally couldn't survive on his own. So yeah, that's a little bit of a small bit of insight. Again, a short game. Fluffpounder and Live.Sword losing against Jorn and Searcher. I'm sure they're going to play more matches, but I just wanted to cast 2 live games and maybe surprise them, because I'm sure that they have no idea that I was live casting that. They probably had no idea that it was me who was in their game. Maybe they will like it, maybe they won't. So yeah, that's that. I'm going to finish my rice cracker and have a good day.